All right, here we are. Last game of the night, Infamous versus Digital Chaos South America. Get on into this game early into the draft. Just Puck and Necro banned. Could see a Monkey King come out. Been picked up quite a bit. I expect it to come out. Venomancer banned out by Digital Chaos. And we'll see what Infamous ban out second. After that, we'll see what both teams open up the draft with.
Lich. Please ban Lich. Well, it's up to them. But Lich is a pretty common first pick, first ban right now, and Infamous do have the second pick, so if they don't want to play against it, they should probably ban it here. But there's also the Monkey King, which I think both of these teams have been valuing in the safe lane. I think that's probably what they're deciding between right now. Let's see. Ancient Apparition, also a very strong hero. Also a frosty character. See what DC respond with. I think probably some top candidates right now, like Earthshaker, Lich, maybe even the Monkey King or Night Stalker if they value those two heroes. But draft's pretty open right now. We haven't really had a lot of games to see what these teams prefer in this situation, so it's hard to say what specifically they value in the first pick position.
In this game, actually, both teams are 2-0, so winner of this matchup wins top of the group, and both teams are, in fact, already in the playoffs.
The admins mentioned something about if one of these teams wins, they have to play another team. I can't remember which one, but that could potentially give us another game. I'm not sure how to interpret what the admin said just now, but we'll find out later. Spiritbreaker first pick opening, pretty solid pick. So usually Spiritbreaker being run as a position 4. He's a pretty solid initiator, right? Because he doesn't need any items to initiate. And also his ulti works through magic immunity, which makes it quite strong. And Night Stalker open with Infamous open with Night Stalker Dazzle. Night Stalker really good, pretty good roamer in general. Provides a lot of mid game vision, a lot of late game vision, and just a lot of team fight control in general because you get to pick the fights that you want. Also gets to scout out where the Spiritbreaker's going. And Dazzle, pretty good defensive support in general. Of course, he doesn't have his slow or stun in the lane, or he doesn't have a stun in the lane, but he helps whatever lane he is in trade hits with the opponent. So that makes him a pretty good pick, especially against a hero like Nature's Prophet, because now Dazzle actually has a mechanic to kill the Treants. Looks like DC is going for this whole global map control theme so far in their first two picks. You got the Spiritbreaker to look for pickoffs, and then Nature's Prophet to sort of follow up, but also push out the lanes relatively safely against the Night Stalker and help make those kills happen.
Wondering if DC.SA immediately go for that Huskar ban, or if they let it through. I mean, you ban Ancient Apparition, you pick up a Dazzle, I'm feeling like you're going Huskar.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what happened last game, but we'll see. DC's lineup, not the worst against Huskar because you have the Spiritbreaker to help lock down the Huskar, but also because you can actually just pick when you want to fight the Huskar, because you can always trade towers with the Nature's Prophet. One of the concerns you have when you're playing against the Huskar is whether or not the Huskar is getting more out of the map than you, because you don't always want to push into the Husk or to fight directly into the Huskar. The Huskar is like a tank that's just hitting your tower, and then you'd be like, oh, if I can trade a tower somewhere else on the map, or if I can trade 2 towers somewhere else on the map, then I'm okay with this, and we'll just deal with the Huskar later when we have more items and more abilities. We'll see.
Infamous, they ban out the Shadow Shaman, they ban out the Death Prophet. Lycan banned out by DC.SA, a hero that works well with the Night Stalker. And we'll see if they do in fact go for that ban of the Huskar. They banned the Sven, so open for business is this Huskar if they do choose to go for it.
Yeah, there's a problem with the Huskar so far is that DC haven't picked any of their cores, so there's a potential for counterpicking. Not a severe counterpick like in AA because it's bad, but something that just plays around Huskar well, like non-melee cores or cores that can actually fight into the Huskar. We'll have to see.
Don't think they pick the Huskar right here. If they were gonna go with it,
Probably not. So they have
pick.
a Darkseer, which generally a good offlaner, works really well in a dual lane with a Night Stalker because you have these two tanky heroes with ion shells running at you, and also able to help catch the Nature's Prophet later in the game. We'll see how DC.SA responds. Generally, quite a few options against Darkseer now. You can pick maybe, I guess the Shadow Shaman's banned, but pick something like maybe even Anti-Mage against Darkseer, or just supports that have like a good amount of stun or lockdown to threaten the Darkseer in the lane. But lots of options here. They do have to be scared of the Huskar potential, but I think they were right in banning Lycan and Sven because that would make their lineups extremely tanky. You have the armor from the Dazzle, the heal from the Dazzle. In addition to Lycan Howl and Warcry, that would make Infamous's lineup extremely tanky. DC.SA, they pick up the Oracle, which Oracle can use his first ability to remove the ion shells and the surges from Darkseer, which helps both manage the lane and also prevents the Darkseer and Night Stalker from having kill potential on your heroes. So, pretty good pick there. Also helps deal with Night Stalker CC. So, well, given that the Night Stalker is not going on the Oracle first.
And it would help against the Huskar, wouldn't it? Because he has, correct me if I'm wrong, he has that disarm, right?
Yep, you can disarm the Huskar.
So
see what happens here.
I feel like they have almost too much to commit to that Huskar against them, but you know, they go with the Ember Spirit, could still go with it. We'll have to see.
That gives Infamous a lot of early fighting potential. You have the Ion Shell and the Ember Spirit, you have Darkseer and Night Stalker putting a lot of pressure on the early game. So I wouldn't be surprised if Infamous try to run over DC.SA in the early to mid game. But there's a lot of counter picks to Ember that are still in the pool. Well, potentially, but we'll have to see if they pick one. They still have to select their mid and their safe laner here. And they probably need a mid that doesn't get bullied by the Darkseer and the Night Stalker.
I think maybe we see possibly a Chaos Knight for their safe lane.
That is a potential, yeah. You have the stun from the Chaos Knight and a lot of follow-up from the Spirit Breaker and the Oracle. I think two of the best carries that we've been seeing in this patch, Lycan and Sven, are banned out, so we'll be seeing those two heroes. Those two heroes are definitely tanky enough to deal with the Night Stalker and Darkseer. Then we see the Huskar from...
I guess both teams, yeah, they could both pick it up. Oracle on one side, Dazzle on the other, so interesting.
Most certainly a hero that helps deal with the Darkseer Night Stalker if played correctly, because the Huskar can always zone out the Night Stalker and the Darkseer.
10 seconds.
Unfortunately, that does mean we have to see another Huskar game. Hopefully, they do better.
But I don't know. I feel like Huskar it could be in a lot of trouble in this game.
Yep.
It just seems like there's a lot of damage coming out from Infamous that maybe Huskar, especially pre-Armlet, might not be able to handle.
But most of Infamous's damage is magic damage so far. Like, the most physical damage is going to be right clicks from the Night Stalker and Ember Spirit, or maybe the plus 120 damage from Darkseer talent. But really, not a lot of things for Huskar to be afraid of. Huskar is most afraid of, I guess, mainly three things. High physical damage, lots of lockdown, so like if he gets kited around, or just straight up pure damage, something like like an OD, and this Earthshaker pick definitely fits DC.SA's lineup really well because they were lacking lockdown. Previous to that Earthshaker pick, their only stun and lockdown was Spirit Breaker, so they definitely need something to help lock down the Ember Spirit, because Ember Spirit thrives in games where he can just sit like in between the enemy heroes, burn them with a Flame Guard, and not be scared of getting bursted down before being able to use a Remnant. But Earthshaker is one of those heroes that can chain stun him long enough to kill him, so pretty good pick there.
That puts what, Huskar mid, Nature's Prophet safe lane, Earthshaker off lane with Spirit Breaker 4, Oracle 5.
Hard to say. I think the Earthshaker, they might try to aggressive lane the Huskar and then put the Earthshaker one-on-one, or I guess like against the Darkseer lane, because Dazzle and Night Stalker aren't quite equipped to deal with a Huskar tri-lane, especially depending on this final pick here,
which could be a mid or a safe laner.
Yeah, they have 2 seconds, so we'll find out very soon. Wind Ranger. I guess she doesn't get hit by the Huskar, so maybe they're thinking about laning the Huskar, laning the Wind Ranger against the Huskar.
Definitely interesting lineup coming out from both these teams, where for the most part I thought Infamous would pick up that Huskar, ends up going to Digital Chaos South America, and then Infamous, they go with the Ember Spirit and the Windrunner. Windrunner, not something you see too much, especially recently.
Yep. I mean, she's got her strength. Like, Shackle's a pretty insane lockdown if you can somehow land it. Unfortunately, it does get removed by Oracle ult, so they'll have like one less stun to work with, concerning the Oracle is going to remove that. But
10 seconds.
I believe she doesn't die to Huskar in lane, at least on the early levels. I'm not sure if it's an enjoyable lane for Wind Ranger, but certainly not one she dies in. So perhaps that was the thought process for it, because this Ember Spirit is definitely going to have a tough time against Huskar if they end up in that laning scenario.
Does anybody really lane up against Huskar and have a happy lane? I feel like no matter how well you do, it's never really that fun.
Maybe Lena, just because of the stun. Anyone, basically any ranged hero that can actually like hit the Huskar without getting hit back. I mean, Wind Ranger sorta does that too, except like Wind Ranger doesn't have a stun like Lena does. Like if Huskar walks up to a Lena, you just get stunned immediately and hit twice. But Wind Ranger doesn't have a mechanic like that. Maybe you can get one hit, but 1 or 2 hits, but we'll have to see. Especially this, these laning positions might be determined soon.
Not surprised to see a, you know, traditional pause.
Yep.
This
guy's got his boots first with the armlet queued up, so makes me think he's probably not safe lane, but could be anywhere really.
So who's on? I can't really tell who's on what, but
well, we'll never know because the game's not ticketed, but that's okay.
Yeah, would be nice. Get these official teams, official names.
Could be a mid Earthshaker. He started with a.
That's what I was thinking. Because I saw it in chat, and I was gonna bring it up to you. I just didn't know who was gonna, if that was their mid player.
Yep.
Wow.
Boots first on the Nature's Prophet. Boots first on the Huskar. Meanwhile, on Dire, Dazzle does have a TP prepared, so he's gonna smoke a TP somewhere. Night Stalker's got his boots, pretty standard for a roaming Night Stalker. Ember Spirit's got Poor Man's Shield and Tango, so maybe it's the Ember that's gonna be mid. I do have the unpause.
I was practicing my backstroke.
Dazzle opting the TP top. Spirit Breaker also TP's top.
Is going to be Oracle, Spirit Breaker, Nature's Prophet, Huskar, and Earthshaker up against Darkseer, Dazzle, Night Stalker, Windrunner, and Ember Spirit in this last best of one for the day. Hopefully, I don't know, you had said maybe there's another game. We'll have to find out afterwards.
I saw something mentioned about another game in the chat before the game started, but we'll have to see. Is a mid-Wind Ranger against... Actually, this is probably the ideal laning combination, because even if the Huskar gets sent top, the Dazzle can always stack and pull the top camp, which would remove too much away from the Huskar. So, really good move by them. Huskar is in the safe lane against the Darkseer. Probably needed to pack a little bit more regen, considering he might eat a little bit of Ion Shell damage, but we'll have to see how the lane goes for him.
And it's...
I think ideally this Huskar is gonna try to full zone this Darkseer from EXP. Not like the Night Stalker can help out that much.
It's looking like it's going to be that Earthshaker over mid.
Yeah.
As he goes to pick up that bounty rune.
Shouldn't do too poorly against the Wind Ranger. He started with a poor man shield, so as long as Earthshaker manages to not get hit too much, he should be fine.
Now, you don't see this too often where an Earthshaker goes mid. What are the benefits in terms of levels and potential farm that an Earthshaker mid could see?
Well, you know, Earthshaker in general scales really well with levels, and he's getting more than he would in an off scenario. The only problem is he doesn't do super high amounts of damage except with the enchant totem right click. So as long as Wind Ranger doesn't eat totems to the face, I don't imagine her dying in this lane. But he will get a lot, and generally they get pretty good blink timings. So you just Fairy Salves, keep your health up, and try not to take too much damage.
Is the build still the same?
I think it's more focused around the totem when you're playing a mid-shaker, because you do want to be able to get that solo kill potential.
Darkseer drop over bottom to the Spirit Breaker, who is going to try and stay alive, gets another charge. Fortune's End comes out, 2 kills right away. So Huskar looks pretty good. They get first blood and another down bottom.
When you play mid-shaker, you generally expect a fairly quick blink timing, so you want more points in the totem and more points in Aftershock just to be able to increase your chances of getting pick-offs once you get that blink.
DC South America start off with a pretty good start overall.
Yep. Nature's Prophet's getting a lot out of this lane. He's already taken two tangos off of the Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit sitting at half health, so I don't imagine they'll kill this Nature's Prophet anytime soon without a rotation.
Interestingly enough, Nature's Prophet TPs to the bounty rune.
Yep.
He's level 3 already, so not too bad this early on as he gets hit by that poison touch. Charge is going to come through. Shadow Wave hits from the Dazzle. Should be a kill. The charge doesn't end up hitting on the Dazzle, and actually Spirit Breaker almost in trouble with the rotations coming in.
Yeah, looks like they feel comfortable about leaving this Huskar solo bottom now, now that he's level 3 and set up against the Darkseer. And no, I lied about the Nature's Prophet not dying anytime soon, but that was also on him for walking into 2 heroes.
You can't predict the foolish.
I think he was expecting to bait himself there with the Oracle and the Spirit Breaker coming in, but it was a little bit too slow on those 2 rotations. But I think this is a scenario that DC South America were looking for, where their Huskar set up in the lane, comfortable bottom. As long as no one rotates mid, this Earthshaker shouldn't die anytime in the near future. And so they're going to try to pressure this Ember Spirit as much as possible, because Ember Spirit is a hero that gets bullied out of lane quite easily, especially when he's not a mid hero, because he doesn't have the kind of sustain required to stay in the lane.
They've got the Nature's Prophet here. Of course, you could throw the charge in, and we've already seen one amazing Spirit Breaker game today. Does Spirit Breaker put Ember Spirit in enough trouble with the Nature's Prophet here, or do they need that third in the Oracle? Or, yeah, in the Oracle.
I don't think they'll ever kill the Ember Spirit, but they can harass the Ember Spirit to the point where maybe he's too low health to stay in the lane.
Wow, mid actually misses the power shot. They might actually get the kill. 2 more shots should do it. Nature's Prophet comes over, and Earthshaker avoids the skill shot, sidestepping it, getting the kill on the Windrunner, going in a bit too deep. And actually, here's Nature's Prophet. That could ultimately be a problem, but he's stunned up by the totem, and charge comes in. So Night Stalker, I don't think he's going to be able to catch up to this Earthshaker now that he's behind the tier 2.
I'm curious as to why he didn't just nuke the Earthshaker right away, but we'll never know.
Looks over at this Nature's Prophet, who is by himself
Dazzle's
at level
rotating
4, and Dazzle's coming over. They've got the double damage. There's the Poison Touch, and the Sprout to keep him alive for a little bit longer. They've got the Earthshaker here, and there's the Fissure to hit. So now that's the Night Stalker who's the one on the run with that double damage expiring. And they save the Nature's Prophet. Nothing comes of this attempted gank at both mid and in the jungle over here.
Yep. Casual 4 ranged creeps mid, hitting the Wind Ranger. It's going to be a lot of golden EXP for the Wind Ranger. Meanwhile, while all that was happening, Ember Spirit has had a nice relaxing minute in his lane, which puts him near level 5, which actually puts him in a position to deal with the Nature's Prophet with that level 3 Flame Guard. See, this Huskar is doing a little bit better than the Huskar we saw last game. Not really getting pressured in this lane too much, and having a pretty good timing on that armlet.
And he's not dead twice already, so it's always beneficial.
Yep. Earthshaker might be in a little bit of trouble here.
Stalker coming around. Fissure's gonna hit onto the Windrunner, but now with the Nature's Prophet again, Earthshaker looking like he's gonna make it out by the skin of his teeth. I spoke too soon. Poison Touch there with the skill shot of the Windrunner is gonna end up getting the kill. Shallow Grave is used, but the Fortune's End should kill off this Windrunner with the help of the Nature's Prophet. You take a look, charge comes back to the creeps over mid, and it ends up being a 1-for-1 for both these mids.
Rexier's got an Iron Shell on him with an Invis Rune, might try to go for a kill on this Huskar. Huskar does have his armlet, so if he is noticing this, which it looks like he might not be.
Yeah, he should be dead in the life break. Thrown in the Night Stalker anyway, not gonna help out.
And the WoW.
But Fortune's End charged up again onto this Night
Seems to
Stalker.
be
Oh wow, Purifying Flames, couple shots maybe, there it is.
Seems to be a trend of Huskars dying while hitting neutral creeps at no health today.
Well, you gotta be noticing the Ion Shell damage, right? Like, does he just go for the farm, or is he?
It's so gradual, and like you're not actively thinking, "Hey, the Darkseer might have an Invis Rune standing on top of me with an Ion Shell," but I think definitely his reaction there should have been to turn on the armlet if you remember that he had it, instead of going straight for the ulti.
Well, I would hope that he remembers the items he's buying, but I've seen crazier things. So now over mid, this Earthshaker 2 levels behind this Windrunner.
Yeah, this Earthshaker got pushed out of the lane a couple times, and that Wind Ranger had that huge 4 range creep wave at our towers, so big change there. The problem, I think,
Charge coming over mid. So looking to make a potential play on this Windrunner. Gonna use Echo Slam with the Nature's Prophet coming over. That'll be a kill on the Windrunner right into a smoke.
I don't know if that was lag, or sometimes you just let the Earthshaker walk up to you with Echo Slam, so interesting scenario there. Huskar is starting to work on this bottom tower. I really think this is what their lineup was meant to do, is to push with this Huskar, push with this Nature's Prophet, while the Earthshaker gets his items.
So they'll get this tier 1 over bottom, nothing really standing in their way. So DC South America, they're the first ones to grab a tower in this game. Huskar looking a lot better than the previous game we saw. Let's see what they can do. Windrunner coming around the back. We'll see if this will be enough. Is the Radiant Courier taken out? It's always the one in the back, as there is the Shackle shot hitting. But Fortune's End with the Fissure, just getting that Shallow Grave off, is going to be the Dazzle. Coming in with the Remnant, it's going to be Ember Spirit. He tries to get the Searing Chains as well as the Sleight of Fist to get 2. They will take out the Huskar and the Nature's Prophet. Now you look at this Earthshaker. Void will stop that TP. 4-man Totem Stun, but not going to be able to get out in time as Ember Spirit gets the kill with Flame Guard.
Yep. It's like DC.SA just overstayed a little bit. They used a lot of health and resources to get that tier 1, and then Not Today was just healed up and ready to engage from multiple angles.
So that gives Infamous their first lead of the game. We'll see what they're able to do. Is DC.SA are one of those teams that would like to snowball into a victory, it seems.
Yeah. Infamous are starting to rotate back into their own jungle. I think they're expecting multiple heroes to be here, because you don't usually just have a Spirit Breaker and Oracle parked up here for nothing. So they're starting to send heroes to just be in the area in case a fight happens.
So you've got the Huskar farming over on the side here. Why not just bottom if he's got that tower advantage?
He might be scared that the enemy team's going to gank him there, because if his team is on the side of them, he kind of wants to be closer just to reduce the amount of chance that he gets caught out alone or gets caught out with nobody around to save him. And looks like there's a smoke coming in from mid on the Earthshaker.
Thrown forward with the Shackle, always the one in the back, as that's the Earthshaker getting locked up and killed off. So there it is. Four heroes come over to get that Earthshaker kill.
Yep, that is a smoke as well, which frees up a little bit of space for this Huskar to farm. I think he's trying to get maybe a couple levels or items before he fights, or maybe he was waiting on his team to be ready to fight. But definitely it feels like DC.SA want to be the ones instigating the fights instead of the other way around.
Nature's Prophet actually going to come in, try and get this kill on the Dazzle. I mean, he's got Shallow Grave, so certainly he couldn't be dead. And he does get that Shallow Grave off, as well as the TP not going to get away. He will be killed off.
Yep. This could be a tier 1 attempt from DC.SA as well.
So they go for this tier 1 over mid, but Earthshaker, or Ember Spirit, going to try and run in on these heroes. There's an Echo Slam. I think it was avoided by him jumping to his Remnants. They're going to take out the Oracle, take out the Huskar, as well as the Nature's Prophet. Spirit Breaker to fall next.
There's just a ton of magic damage coming out all at once. Managed to catch 4 heroes in a pretty bad spot, and you're right, the Echo Slam did whiff because the Ember Spirit dodged it with its spirits, so pretty unfortunate fight for DC South America. They lose their tier 1 instead of taking the enemies.
Not sure if it was 100% planned out to be that way that he avoided the Echo Slam, but
I think it was more the Earthshaker casting at the wrong time. It's definitely tough without the blink to actually catch the Ember Spirit, because it's on the Ember Spirit's generally able to dodge it if he sees it coming.
Now he's going to try and chase this Earthshaker. There's the totem to hit him up with the Aftershock. The charge is coming in. Fortune's End flies his way, but you've got the Night Stalker here to try and get a kill. The Remnant on Thor. There's going to be the ulti coming out from the Oracle. Ember feeling a little bit too comfortable going under that tier 1 tower, and will end up paying for it.
Good turnaround from DC.SA, and then I think the Huskar's also pushing in mid, so this mid tower might take a little bit of damage here.
Dire's middle tower is under pressure.
So, 2,000 net worth lead here for Infamous. Top of the net worth is the Windrunner and the Ember Spirit. And Windrunner very close to that Maelstrom. We take a look at the Ember Spirit. He's going for Lincolns after picking up those Boots of Travel.
Really feels like DC.SA. Well, now that their ultis are down, I think they're just waiting for the Earthshaker to finish his blink. He's about 600 gold away. He's top. A little bit of action happening up here.
Got the fissure. There's the charge coming in from the Spirit Breaker. One more shot. That's good gold going the way of the Earthshaker. They really could use another one of those just to push him forward on that Blink Dagger, but it's still just 400 gold away. They are going to smoke up as 4, so they're still looking for more. They want to continue going in onto this infamous team, and the Weave is actually anticipating this attack. So 3 of these heroes with the Weave effect on them, and I think seeing that, DC.SA have to try and get out, as Nature's Prophet going to try and run, hit by that Poison Touch. There it is with the kill for the Windrunner, and they're going to get themselves another in the Oracle. Spirit Breaker charges in, but it's well too late, and he'll end up falling off as well.
A bit of an ambitious smoke gank there, especially when they're running up a hill to go for that kill. They didn't have their Huskar around either. Obviously, ideally, you open with the Echo Slam there, but they don't have that blink, so it's kind of difficult to engage up a hill, especially when they're Dazzle ulti.
I think he's looking for the Echo Slam now, but I don't know if you try to go in at nighttime against that Night Stalker.
Oh. It's looking for a kill, but Infamous is organizing to take this top tier 1 or potentially look for a kill on the Nature's Prophet here.
And Nature's
Looks
Prophet
like they won't get it.
Trying to farm from high on that cliff.
Oscar is ready to TPN, but quite low right now. Pretty sure they're waiting for the Earthshaker to have his blink. It'll make fights a lot easier since their most reliable stun on the Ember Spirit is Blink Echo or Fissure into Enchant Totem. So definitely banking on that to kill the Ember Spirit.
Does seem like this Blink Dagger is taking a little bit longer than he'd hoped.
Yep. And this Wind Ranger is actually super farmed. Got a Maelstrom working on a Blink. I think probably will probably be in a position to go for solo pickoffs after she has that Blink. Probably able to kill anyone really but the Huskar and the Earthshaker in one Shackle.
They are gonna 5-man smoke, look for a fight. And Earthshaker the closest one, and he did end up buying out on that Blink Dagger, so maybe they have an opportunity to turn this around. There's Darkness coming out. Sleight of Fist, not going to get the Searing Chains, and he blinks away with the charge coming in from the Spirit Breaker. Fissure follows that up. They got to watch out. The Echo Slam is waiting in the wing. If they do stay a little bit too long, and now they've got the Huskar going in, trying to take out this Ember Spirit. There's the Echo Slam, but just seems a little bit too late to make a big difference, as Earthshaker's going to end up dying after only taking out the Ember Spirit. So there's the Shackle, does hit on the trees, and that should be another. And down goes the Oracle.
Bit of a messy fight from DC.SA there. I think the Spirit Breaker's charge got cancelled by a Shackle shot. And then I don't know what kept cancelling his ulti, but he definitely casted his ult like 5 times there without hitting a target, so bit of an unfortunate fight.
They're actually going to try and chase this Nature's Prophet. And Windrunner, Shackle not going to connect. And Sleight of Fist, Vacuum, those aren't going to hit. It's a 3,000 net worth lead for Infamous.
Yeah, Huskar spent most of the game just farming and hitting Ancients, but I'm pretty sure that now that they have that Blink, they should be looking for kills. Unfortunately, the Echo's down for 80 seconds, so I'm pretty sure they have to continue what they're doing for now. Definitely don't try to sneak a Roshan this game unless they're absolutely sure that the enemy team won't contest it, but I'm pretty sure their best plan is to go for a pickoff on either the Wind Ranger or Ember Spirit before looking for a big fight.
They do end up over towards Roche. Life break into this Roche. Huskar trying to take it under the noses of Infamous. Nobody coming over just yet, and they don't have Ward Vision on this Roche pit. They have it up top by the river where it meets the stairs, but other than that, they don't have it too far nearby. Blinking over with the fissure as well as the totem is going to be this Earthshaker. They already taken out the Dazzle, so they have no save. They have no Shallow Grave, and coming over with a nice vacuum wall is the Darkseer on 3. The mech's going to keep them alive even longer. The Maelstrom from the Windrunner is ripping them apart. They've got 2. They've popped the Aegis, and they've only lost the Dazzle, now healing up with that Shrine. 4 heroes here to take on this Huskar, and you know he's going to try and fight, but it ain't going to last long as he is taken out by Infamous.
That was a good Roshan sneak from Radiant. Unfortunately, they kind of put themselves in a really weird position to fight, and eventually they just got vacuum walled between like a fissure and the ramp, and none of their heroes couldn't really move out. So it's a really good counter initiation from Infamous.
Yeah, it looks so good with that early Dazzle pickoff for the side of DC.SA, but then it fizzled out, didn't turn into anything too great.
Yeah, feels like Spirit Breaker maybe ultied the wrong target there. Certainly if he ultied the Ember Spirit, there would have been a much higher chance of killing the Ember before the Ember got away, but unfortunately I think he ultied the Darkseer or Night Stalker instead.
See this Windrunner so far ahead with the Blink now and the Maelstrom looking for that BKB next.
Yep.
Scan comes out, does hit on a couple of these dire heroes. As it's the Dazzle and the Night Stalker at night coming around.
DC South America kind of had to clump up on the same side of the map together in case they get initiated on, but in general, Infamous are a lot more mobile. They have the Darkseer to shove out waves, you have Ember Spirit that can shove out the waves and just Remnant out easily, and this Wind Ranger's somewhat unkillable unless they manage to throw like 2 or 3 heroes at her.
So bottom, they're going to push this tier 2 while top DC.SA are pushing theirs, but I mean, with a Windrunner, you got to expect you're taking this tower quicker.
This bottom tier 2 is one of the hardest towers to defend, so Radiant's probably like, hey, we don't really want to defend it. They're probably already set up for it. Why don't we trade instead? Especially since they're slightly behind.
And they've got the Glyph, and it looks as though they're going to try and defend. Got the Treants here as well as the Huskar. There's the Weave on the Huskar as well as the Nature's Prophet. Coming in with the Hunter the Knight is going to be the Night Stalker. They've got the Darkseer going in deep, but he's not able to get that vacuum off just yet. He's going to be hit up by that Spirit Breaker ult. He's saved by the Shallow Grave of the Dazzle. Gets himself a nice vacuum wall on 3. Nobody dead just yet. And Ember Spirit, he's behind this entire Radiant side by himself. So he's going to Remnant away. They've lost the Darkseer to the Huskar, and they'll lose this tier 2. This could be bad as trying to blink away as the Windrunner. They don't get the full charge through with Nature's Prophet committed.
Odd situation with heroes sandwiched all over the place, but
now the charge coming in onto the Ember Spirit with the Echo Slam Totem. That's going to hit with the Fissure. Huskar should be able to finish him off after this Sleight of Fist. The Remnant's high ground. Remnant's again trying to get away. Now the Weave's on him. He's going to be able to throw out another Remnant, make more distance. Now into the hands of Nature's Prophet, but he's got 3 heroes on him. I don't think he could really focus him down. This Ember Spirit gets so far away, but will it be enough? The Fissure comes out. The Shallow Grave. Dazzle says, my life for ire, and will give it up for the Ember Spirit to get all the way back where it looked as though he was dead to rights.
Yep. DC.SA have a little bit of time to push out the waves now that Dire's kind of just healing up at the moment, but should be able to get the waves out. Maybe try to go for another pickoff somewhere near the mid-tier 1 and take that instead. In general, pretty good fight for them. I think it was really messy at first, so I guess the Night Stalker came in to silence the Earthshaker to prevent the Echo Slam, but as a result, the Darkseer and Night Stalker kind of just ended up in the middle of everyone. Before the other 2 cores, the Wind Ranger and the Ember Spirit had TP'd in.
Yeah, and Darkseer, he blinked in into the entire radiant side right in the middle, so he didn't immediately get that vacuum wall off.
Yep.
So there's a smoke here from Infamous, trying to find themselves a couple of kills, but DC.SA nowhere near this top end of the map.
Yep. Infamous will get some wards now, which will help them in the next fight, maybe, but I think they're going for the smoke of their own on DC.SA.
Looks like it. There's the sentry to spot out any observer wards. Should be a smoke to follow it up.
The problem with this smoke is they don't see any of the cores that they want as targets right now. All they see on the map is the Night Stalker. They may have seen the Ember Spirit pop in and out, but you don't really want to commit a smoke unless you know you're going to get one of those big heroes, which is the Wind Ranger and the Ember Spirit. So I think instead they might just try to hit this tower with the Oracle stunning in the back.
They'll finally take out this tier 1 mid.
Dire's middle tower just got knocked down.
There's a pipe on this Nature's Prophet, which I guess helps them against the massive magic damage from the Ember, Wind Ranger, and here, but in general, that kind of slows his item progression down. We're used to seeing Nature's Prophet that just totally take control of the game with like Hexes, Shadow Blades, Bloodthorns, Maelstroms. It's like we might see a big fight here.
And they're trying to set up with the Earthshaker. They've got the Fissure coming in as well as the Life Break. That's going to be on the Ember Spirit. They get themselves the kill. Now they look for more in the Night Stalker as well as the Darkseer, but with the Surge away, they should have made themselves enough space. And that's going to be a blink out as well. They've got the charge. I think that's going all the way top on this. Dazzle is going to try and TP out. Not going to make it with the Fissure coming in. And will be held up long enough for this Earthshaker to get the kill. So they take out both the Ember as well as the Dazzle. Vacuum Wall comes out on 2. Not sure if it's going to be enough as the Huskar turns around and starts fighting the side of the Dire. They've got the Windrunner doing a lot of damage to the Oracle. He's forced to use that ult on himself. Now he runs through that wall again and again and again. Will this heal be enough to keep him alive? We'll find out in just a moment. No. The answer is no. And now the Spirit Breaker trying to go in pretty deep is going to get killed
coming
off.
in with Echo.
Huskar is going to go past that wall. The Echo seems a little bit underwhelming as Huskar comes in with a Life Break on the Darkseer. We'll see if he's able to get the kill. Shackle stops him for just a moment. He gets low, ends up dropping, and now Ember Spirit's going to chase all the way for this next kill onto the Earthshaker. They're looking for more. They're looking to get something else in this, and will. And that is 4 dead on the side of DC.SA.
Well, it was a really good move by Infamous to go there because they saw the Earthshaker and the Spirit Breaker go for that gank on the Dazzle top, so suddenly there's 3 heroes that were exposed.
He is found out. Shackle comes in, almost getting killed off. Does get himself sprouted, but not going to be enough as he is taken out by the Windrunner still. So that's all 5 at the end of the day.
Yep, that's that solo pick-off potential from the Wind Ranger, and she has the Aghanim. Gives her even... She catches someone. I'm pretty sure she can solo kill anyone except the Huskar, just because the Huskar has a halberd right now. But definitely, if you're DC.SA, you're scared of the pickup potential.
So they get this mid-tier 2. Roche back up in 30 seconds. See how that next fight works out. It's a
We have a Lincoln Sphere on the Ember, which prevents him from getting charged, obviously, but makes him a little bit more confident to push out lanes. One of the problems that there is with a core Earthshaker is it's easier to predict where a core Earthshaker is than a support Earthshaker, because you know if you're core Earthshaker, you feel obligated to push out lanes and farm. And so since Earthshaker is really the only initiation from Ember right now. For Ember. If Ember buys the Lincolns, then suddenly that takes away one way for him to get picked off.
So, despite it seeming very one-sided in the last 5 to 10 minutes, only a 5,000 net worth lead, which isn't terrible. And DC.SA trying to sneak this Roche, but these heroes from Infamous are coming over, and now they've got Darkness. They might look to chase. Or at least set something up. The ulti comes in from the Spirit Breaker. That'll stop Night Stalker in his tracks. He's going to be stuck between these trees. Looks like he's going to be taken out by the Fortune's End, as well as the hits coming in from the Searing... not the Searing Arrows. It's coming in from the Burning Spears of Huskar. And they will get themselves 1. They continue to move on forward. You take a look at the Darkseer. He's in pretty deep. The Echo Slam, again, just seems so underwhelming. They dust up this Darkseer. He's going to get chased out by the charge. Still trying to run away. The Fortune's End purges up that surge away and will be taken out by the Oracle. So they got 2 kills there, and Windrunner pretty close by with the Ember and the Dazzle. We'll see if they continue to go in. The Totem's going to miss, but the Fissure lands. And now they've got the Nature's Prophet to look for more. They've got themselves a pretty nice weave to hit all 3 of their heroes and just the Nature's Prophet. But let's see if it's enough to keep them alive. Windrunner's going to get hit by that Shallow Grave. They're going to continue to come in. Knows he can't TP out. Shallow Grave only lasts for so long, and you will be dead. And they'll take out the Dazzle as well. So a very nice fight there from DC.SA.
Yeah, it feels like DC.SA might get a Roshan here as well, which would be really big, because that's pretty much the win condition for DC.SA, is if they have that Aegis on the Huskar and they just use the Huskar as a vehicle to push. But I'm just not going to let it go for free. Looks like they're starting to posture for this.
As they start to posture, the charge comes in. That forces the Darkseer to blink away already. They've got the Night Stalker waiting in the back. I think he's looking to use Hunter in the Night to get this Aegis, but not going to use it, not going to put his life on the line like that, and now the Aegis is in the hands of the Huskar.
And suddenly DC.SA, they're ahead by 1k, and I think they're going to start barreling down mid. Really the sort of way Infamous have to play this now is they have to make sure the 2 side lanes are pushed, just so there's a little bit more pressure on DC.SA, and then they actually have to defend this by maybe spamming it out or going for a pick off in the backline, because they definitely need to have a scenario where the Huskar is not able to hit a target. They kill the Huskar's team first before dealing with Aegis Huskar.
Well, let's see what they can do to stop him going for this tier 3. They've got him shackled up to a tree, and they're going to continue to hit away, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. On the back end, they're going to have the Night Stalker to come through. He's got the silence on the Oracle, but now the ulti comes in for the Spirit Breaker. That'll get this Night Stalker pretty much dead right. He's Shallow Grave, dusted up. He should be dead. Downhill fall. And again, a Shackle comes in. Oh, huge 5-man vacuum wall, but again, just these big-time ultis underwhelming once more.
That does repel the push momentarily, but their spells are down now, so they have to make sure that they're ready for the next fight, or maybe even go for a pickoff before DC.SA have a chance to recuperate.
Ember Spirit. Almost.
Yeah, they're trying their best to keep these lanes out. I think ideally they have to make sure they have to ungroup DC.SA somehow, and then they have to go for a pickoff somewhere to prevent this push, because if DC.SA keep 5-manning with this Aegis, eventually they'll take this Rax.
They were pinging out the Shrine, now they're pinging over mid. I'm not sure they are 100% on where they want to be. Meanwhile, the Radiant Courier gets taken out on the back end by Ember. And they'll continue forward looking for these Rax. Another Shackle comes in, Echo Slam once more from the Earthshaker. They're going to charge in, get the dust on all these heroes. Night Stalker going to get very low. He's going to be hit by that Shallow Grave to keep him alive for a little bit longer. The Vacuum's going to pull back the side of the Radiant. DC.SA is still invading the space. They look for more. They get themselves one in the Darkseer. Now the Sleight of Fist is going to come out, as well as the charge from this Spirit Breaker. They look for more. They look to push back this dire side of Infamous, and they finally pop that Aegis, as well as kill off this Spirit Breaker. So Huskar is back up, but he's deep inside this base, and he's shackled up to a Treant. They kill off the Night Stalker, but again, Huskar just doing so much. They'll stop that TP. Dazzle should be dead. He'll drop, and disarmed actually is this Windrunner. They've got the charge coming in from the ball back Spirit Breaker to come in very deep to this base. 3 heroes down on the side of Infamous. No buyback. Windrunner finally falls, and so does this mid set of Rax. They're looking to continue to charge. They have 5 heroes alive for the side of DC.SA, and they just rotate and posture up bottom towards this bottom tier 3. Let's see, can Windrunner take out the Huskar? There's the Fissure going to be avoided by the Blink. That pushes back the Windrunner, though, and that will offer them up enough time to get this tier 3. Sleight of Fist can only do so much, and there's the Life Break with the Lincoln's getting popped on the Ember Spirit. He'll Remnant back, but now your Rax are getting taken over bottom. Shackle happens again, but still you're not getting the kill, and you're forced back with the charge. Another big vacuum wall. Is it going to be enough this time? It doesn't look like it, as they're continuing to just hit these Rax. BKB popped, Cheese eaten, as well as the ulti coming in from the Oracle. They just can't kill this Huskar anymore, and what was a 5,000 net worth deficit has turned into an 8,000 net worth lead. The Huskar continues to work. He's got that Oracle ulti falling off of him, and he's finally taken out mid towards this demolished Rax, and they'll finally retreat out of the base. As Windrunner goes Chase Oracle might get the kill here, and will.
This Wind Ranger definitely needs an MKB, or at least something to deal with the evasion, maybe a Bloodthorn, because right now they don't have enough damage to actually kill the Huskar consistently. So obviously it was worse there because they had to deal with an Aegis and a Cheese, but you can just see how difficult it is for them to kill the Huskar if they're not piling 5 heroes on top of him. So I guess the last 8 minutes have been a whirlwind, but off of a really good fight from DC.SA, they managed to get Roshan, which is basically was their win or their kind of condition for being able to take the rack safely. And with that, I think Infamous kind of maybe misplayed the last couple of fights.
Yeah, and that's put him down by 6,000 net worth, and obviously we just saw a comeback from that far down, but this is now 2 sets of racks down.
Yeah. It's an extra dangerous situation for Infamous because DC can always get their lanes pushed up with the Nature's Prophet, and the Ember Spirit has to be exceptionally scared of a pickup potential from the Earthshaker, who's actually setting up right now.
Might come.
Alright. Walking away. Yeah. The Ember Spirit's really the only hero that can push out waves safely. The Wind Ranger can sort of do it as well from a distance, but not as quickly, so DC.SA definitely more capable of going for pickoffs right now. Looks like they'll actually smoke 3 of their heroes.
And they're looking to keep the pressure on, possibly finish this game with a good enough team fight. And their charge is coming in on the Night Stalker. Here comes that Spirit Breaker to start this fight off, and it's going to be between a lot of these heroes. Earthshaker Smoke's going to be broken. There's the Side Fist Searing Chains coming out on both of these heroes. The Weave follows it up as well. So now they might be in a little bit of trouble. There's the Vacuum Wall, only on the Huskar, shackled up. But Glimmer Cape saves his life for now, as well as that Solar Crest. So that's wall down.
That is wall down.
As well as that Shrine Top.
DC.SA is really just comfortable playing on this side of the map since they're not worried about bottom and mid pushing in. Just going for Shrine so far. Looks like Earthshaker is actually setting up for top. Nope, he cancels his TP.
There's Treants over there to try and clean up.
Might get a kill.
Take a look. Is the Windrunner getting quite low, but
I don't know if you noticed what just happened, but the first odd thing that happened was the Earthshaker echoed before he blinked.
I did not see that.
It did make a noise, so that was a little strange, but he echoed before he blinked, so the Wind Ranger didn't get instantly stunned. And then the second thing was Spirit Breaker didn't pop his dust. I guess didn't know the Wind Ranger was invis.
Ulti comes through with the Nature's Prophet coming in. Should be a kill. There's the Sprout. Silence will only help him so much. Now he's dusted up, and Fortune's End comes out with the last hit from the Spirit Breaker.
I think maybe the Spirit Breaker wasn't expecting the level 20 talent from Wind Ranger, which grants her invis when she's using Wind Run.
So now they go for this last tier 3. There's the Shackle coming out onto the Huskar, but what can you do to follow that up? You have Wall available with the Vacuum, but no Night Stalker and nothing really to follow it up too amazingly. There's a Shackle Vacuum Wall again. Let's see. Again, it just seems so underwhelming. There's the Life Break onto the Dazzle. He'll be taken out of the game. And now Huskar just continues to work on these racks. Doesn't really care about his own life. And does get taken out for his trouble. Not too sure why he just stood there and took it, as now Spirit Breaker is going to be in a lot of trouble. He'll fall, so will the Oracle. And retreating is DC.SA. They do end up taking half that set of racks up top, but to give up your life like that just for free, they're not for free, but not attacking the other teams. Interesting.
Well, not too bad, because Infamous can't actually leave their base, as the creep waves are, all the creep waves are in their base for a moment there. I think the one thing that
Echo Slam comes through mid onto the Ember Spirit. He gets away with the Sleight of Fist for now, very low. Will end up surviving, and now the Earthshaker, he's going to be the one in trouble. He'll be the one who falls, and that's 4 dead.
That's a good pickoff attempt. I think, so when the Huskar died top, he was expecting an Oracle ult.
They might get Nature's Prophet as well. He's blocked from getting to the high ground over in his base, but finally retreating is going to be the Night Stalker and the Windrunner as the buyback comes in from the Earthshaker. Radiance now picked up by this Darkseer.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you're Darkseer and you need a Radiance to help push out waves, I guess.
Interesting pickup. Charge not gonna follow all the way through with it, but does spot themselves the Ember. Nobody to follow it up, so Spirit Breaker will just retreat.
Ember does have his Battle Fury working on that Daedalus, so it's potentially a lot of damage, maybe enough damage to cleave kill a couple heroes if it's off of a vacuum, but that's asking for a lot, especially since all of these fights have just been the Huskar in the front and the rest of the team relatively safe in the back.
I feel like the Nature's Prophet had to have seen that, right? With the Treants getting blocked by the smoked heroes.
You'd be surprised. I think the most noticeable thing is just the Treants dying instantly to Radiance and On-Shell, but no one really pinged it out, or maybe they just knew what was happening.
So Roche is up. If DC.SA want to go for it. With all the Treants, with the Earthshaker, we'll see if they come over. They've got the Ember Spear coming with the Sleight of Fist, so now they know. And now it's up to the rest of the team to follow it up. There it is, Vacuum into no wall. BKB is going to be popped by the Huskar. Echo Slam on the Night Stalker. That'll be one. Now they look for more. There's the Sprout onto the Darkseer. He's getting quite low. The Life Break over to the Ember Spirit as the Shallow Grave keeps the Darkseer alive, and he's actually still alive for the time being. They'll finally drop him, drop the Dazzle as well. You take a look at the Ember starting to clean up a couple of these heroes, now taking out the Nature's Prophet. And they're going to lose him, and he'll buy back immediately. Lincoln's is popped on the Ember Spirit. Now I look over at the Windrunner as this is quite split up. He'll finally drop. 104 seconds on the sideline. Just the Ember is alive. Life Break comes in. He'll be taken out. Full team white. GG call. So DC.
Well, really, the Infamous played well in the early game, but really the turning point was that fight right before the second Roshan, which obviously allowed DC.SA to get that second Roshan, and off of that, they really just took 2 racks and won the game, really.
Yeah, it all turned around quite quickly for DC.SA over Infamous. And played it quite well. Huskar 12-8, maybe not the best stat line, but still a pretty good game overall, as well as that Earthshaker looking a little shaky at times, 11-6 and 13. And DC.SA, they go undefeated 3-0. Infamous end the group stage 2-1. They both advance to the playoffs, and I'm quite sure that's the last game of the night. We'll find out in just a moment. But thank you guys for watching. Really do appreciate it. Watching us all day with this SA region closed qualifiers for the PGL Open in Bucharest. And we'll take a break for just a moment. I'll let you guys know if we're casting again. I'm your caster, Bcop, at Bcop92. And then I'm joined here by Franz, at HelloFranz on Twitter. And stay right there. If there is more, we'll let you know. Thank you guys for watching up to this point, and have a good one.